Hi, I'm Matt, and in this series I'm showing you how to refinish and restore a door that has seen better days. Now, in my previous videos I showed you how to remove all the hardware from your door, how to remove the stain or finishes that you had on your door by stripping the paint off, and how to fill any gouges and scratches that the door has, as well as how to sand the door down. Now it's time to actually finish the door up by applying some sort of protective top coat. For that I have this clear protective top coat from Behr, or Behr, however it's pronounced, and it's time to start putting this onto the door. Let's get started. Now, over the past two parts, the protector that I had on the glass had gotten pretty beaten up, so before I started painting I wanted to take some painter's tape and just protect my glass from what was going to happen. With that out of the way, I can start getting rid of all of the dust from this door. After I used a shop vac on it, I wanted to get any fine particulate, and for that I just took a rag, put some acetone on it, and wiped down the door. You can also use mineral spirits. This is definitely something you should do before you paint any type of wood. Now for my paint, I'm using a clear coat from Behr. This is rated for an exterior grade. It's good for decks or doors or things of that nature. I like using a clear coat instead of a tint, but that is totally up to you. For applying the paint, just get it on your brush and do long strokes. And it is on. The first coat is done, and now I just have to wait for it to start drying more. Now, this paint lacquer thing is supposed to take up to 72 hours to dry, so I'm not going to wait for it to fully dry and then sand and put on the next coat. Instead, I'm just going to wait about 2 hours for most of it to dry so I can go put on a second coat, do the same thing for a third coat. Then I'll wait a couple of days, come back, sand it down with 220 sandpaper, put on the final coat, and that's how I'm going to finish up. And I'm back! Now everything is dry and it's time to just sand down this top layer. For that I have 220 grit sandpaper and a little bit of steel wool for any of the specialty areas. So I'm just gonna wrap this up and get going. With everything nice and sanded down, it's time to apply the top coat. Now you could just use the same paint or varnish that you used beforehand, but since it's so cold outside and this takes forever to dry, and I want to get a couple of these coats on, I'm instead going to use a clear spray paint. This means I have to cover up the rest of the glass that is showing right now, but it should cure pretty quickly, so I'll be able to sand and put down 2 or 3 coats, as well as I'll finish it off with some paste wax. Let's get going. Now, if you choose to go with the spray paint method, make sure to be very liberal with your spray paint. You're going to buff this down with the steel wool as well as the paste wax anyways, so feel free to get a nice thick coat on there. Now it's time. I got the second coat of spray paint on here. It's nice and cured. It's time to finish it off. I'm going to sand it down with some steel wool and some paste wax. That's going to give it a nice feel to the touch. Let's get going. Now don't be stingy with your paste wax here. You're going to buff it out with a rag anyways to remove any excess, and make sure that you are getting into any crevice with the steel wool. Be liberal with paste wax. There we go. This side is done. Now I just need to go and spray paint all these ends and all the hardware to get it a nice carbon black. I'm just using a basic Rust-Oleum spray paint and a clear enamel on top. And then I'm going to go and put an etched spray paint onto the glass here so you can't see through it from the front. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you whenever the next one comes out. Goodbye! Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and have a great day. Goodbye.